Hello, Think Natalia community. It's been a while, and today I want to introduce you to a phenomenal human being, a woman who changed my life. Her name is Monique. She lives in Dubai. She is a core nutrition specialist and a health optimization pro. She's also a very passionate writer, and I had the honor of working with her on her LinkedIn marketing and a few other aspects of her life before I actually hired her as my coach, and she helped me transform my life to an extent I could talk about it for an hour, but today is not about me. Today is about Monique. So Monique, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. For everybody who doesn't understand the term core nutrition specialist or health optimization pro, what is it that you do?
Right. Okay, so I help high-performing people to optimize their energy, their productivity, their focus. And I do that through really highly personalized core nutrition and lifestyle programs. And so I can unpack that a little bit if you like me to.
Please.
Yeah. So basically, most leaders in business, whether it is entrepreneurs or corporate executives, they really need a lot of energy and productivity and focus to really maintain an edge, right? And at the same time, they live in high pressure cooker kind of environments. So there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of responsibilities. There's basically the things that sort of make up this kind of lifestyle. Yeah, it's demanding. And all that, so the combination of all these factors can easily result in underlying imbalances, sometimes mysterious health concerns. And that can show up in the form of having energy levels that are waxing and waning throughout the day, or maybe poor sleep, or maybe you go to get a health checkup done, and you get some alarming signals like cholesterol levels are suddenly sky high, or blood sugar levels are really elevated, etc. So what I help these people figure out is what it is that they need to do to stay on top of their game. So what it is that they need to do to optimize their diet, their gut health, their sleep, their brain function. We kind of really take a really good look at what is going on under the hood. What is it that got them to this point? What is happening, with their hormone levels, with their sleep, the whole deal basically. And then with all that information, I help put together a really personalized strategy, nutrition and lifestyle strategy. Sometimes, we even do some testing just to see, what we can find out and investigate deeper into. But yeah, so the ultimate aim is really to help them to get to feel better and to operate better, because when you feel more positive and when you feel more balanced and when you have all that boundless energy, it not only has a really important impact on your own health, but it also has a ripple effect, right, on the people that you work with, the people that work for you, your friends, your family. And yeah, so I like to believe that the work that I do has a positive impact on the world in general, in addition to, the people that I work with. Yeah, so that's it in not such a nutshell, but
No, but I think it's important, because when you joined our group coaching, I thought, oh, that's interesting, but not sure if I need that. And the more you allowed me to guide you, the more I studied your content, the more I realized, gosh, that's the woman I always, or the coach, the mentor I always wanted to have in my life, because you held me accountable to my BS when it comes to stress, when it comes to sleep. We had a look at my nutrition. You helped me grow up and eat stuff like fish and chicken liver. Ew, I do that now. Guess what?
Now you've just put off an entire population of people from working with me.
That's not true. It's a choice. It's a choice. And since then, I've lost 8 pounds. My acne is gone. My pimples are gone. I sleep better. I have more energy levels. I've inspired so many people to look at their health as well in my family. So these were just specific things that I was allowed to work on. So everybody who works with you will get different results, will have different, let's say, construction sites, will be allowed to work at different aspects. And again, I think what you do is phenomenal. So everybody who's interested, check out Monique. But You approached me. Exactly. You approached me or us, Team Think Natalia, because you wanted to get your business to the next level. You were doing pretty well. You were happy with the status quo. Nevertheless, you believe that there is more. Tell us a little bit, more about the motivation, why you decided to join the Think Natalia Tribe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so I've been doing this for a long time. And so I think most of the clients that work with me come to me word of mouth. But I think at some point I realized in order to widen my reach and to reach more people with my message, and of course also get more clients to work with me more consistently, I realized that I did need to work with the social media platform. So I dabbled into, Instagram and all the other platforms and things like that. And I kind of, settled on LinkedIn because it is what I felt to be a little bit more of a mature platform. And it is also the space where I felt my ideal client or the people that I work best with hang out. So yeah, that's kind of, I in my mind, I said, this is what I need to work and optimize. But the challenge was that I had a LinkedIn account. I had it for a really long time, but I had never really done anything about it. So I had a super small network. I didn't really know, how it worked, what to do. So I guess, I think you popped up on my LinkedIn feed from time to time. I started following you and, reading your posts and learning a little bit more about the way that you help people with their LinkedIn brand building. And it resonated. And I think there was just one post at some point that you released that sort of really spoke to that exact thing that I wanted to hear. And so that's how it all started. Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember the first big mindset shift or aha moment that you went through when we decided to work together? What was it where you thought, oh, that's interesting. Now that makes a lot of sense.
I think I looked at social media as a way to kind of, profile myself and get people to sort of, see who I am, what it is that I do, the kind of, work that I do. Never looked at it as an opportunity to directly engage with people and to use it as like, I guess as a selling tool. And I think the biggest insight was for me, because I'm not naturally inclined to, market myself. And I guess there's a lot of people out there. I mean, some people do it beautifully, but I have this sort of block maybe against, doing that. And I think my biggest aha moment was when I had, thanks to you, figured out that it does not have to be salesy or gimmicky. It can be done in a way that's really natural and really comfortable and kind of more like a way of like you're reaching out to somebody and you're starting a conversation and the person, realizes that they need help and you can help them. And so it's that beautiful kind of, that dance that sort of resonated with me. Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing that. And I think it's important what you've pointed out, because you and I, if we would stereotype Monique, I would stereotype Natalia, we're very different based on our character traits and what's important and how we would market each other ourselves. And I gave my best to allow you to find your way of doing it without forcing a mask or a persona upon you, because you're not the type of person who puts on a healthy rabbit suit with maybe a carrot and jumps and sings and says, "Core nutrition time." Like most probably you're cringing so hard on the inside, it's like, forget it, nah. And I would never force you to do that or encourage you to do that, because that's not you. Monique is a total different character. And I think you beautifully found or designed your way of designing your personal brand, of sharing your content, of building a community that is aligned with your values. And yes, every now and then I poked you and I said, I think you can do more, right?
Yeah. And I needed that for sure. But it's absolutely what you're saying. It was, and I think that's beautiful about you, Natalia, is that you recognize that and you provide the tools and you provide the structure and the insights and the information, but you recognize that everybody can work with that in their own fashion. And I think that's probably what attracted me to you. And that's probably why, you know, I feel that I'm successful at doing this. You know, it's not, again, one of those attempts that you try to get into something and you realize like, oh, this is not my thing. It really was finding a way to do it that resonated with me. Yeah.
Thank you. Do you also remember the first milestone or success moment, something that was really a leap of faith or something where I challenged you, which was maybe 2 or 3% outside of your comfort zone, and then you made it happen and it worked out and you were like, yay! Please share that with us.
Yeah. So, well, my biggest achievement or milestone, I think, was when I actually ended up signing on my first client from LinkedIn. Yeah. So that was one of the realizations of this is working, right? I can make this work and I can do this. So that was fantastic. From a technical perspective, I don't know if that's what you're hinting at, but the use of polls, right? Which, you know, it does involve a little bit of stepping out, for me at least, stepping out of my comfort zone and reaching out to people. But it happened in such a wonderfully natural way. So I did a poll, I got people to respond to it. And it was basically, you know, helping people to find out what they would like more of, right, in order to feel healthy and to feel better. Would it be more sleep, more energy, more mental clarity? And so there was a really good response with that poll. And what I did is with the people that answered in these specific categories, I actually just reached out to them and said that thank you for participating. And, you know, here's what I can, you know, share with you in order to maybe give a little bit more clarity and insight. And I, you know, when they said that they were interested, I just shared an article, right? So I had established that connection and I established a way to kind of communicate and take it a little bit further. So that was really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so proud of you when you did that. So what would you recommend to a person who says, no, I'm not approaching anybody, because if my clients want to work with me, they approach me, I would never, ever send a contact request or just invite people to work with me, because this is, no. I'm not doing this. What would you tell such a person?
I think just approach it from the mindset of how can I be of service, right? Not from the mindset of how can I sign this person on as a client, right? Because if that is meant to happen, it'll happen. But it's more a question of, you know, figuring out like, how can you really, you know, like at least all of us, in fact, are doing this type of work because we want to help people, right? We want to help make people feel better and do better in their work and in their health and everything else. And we want to make the world a better place. And so that mindset can be applied in anything that you do. And, you know, for LinkedIn, that's basically the underlying philosophy that you can use to engage with people, to say like, hey, you know, really nice to connect with you. What can I do to help? Is there anything that can be of service? Is there anything that, you know, that you need? And then take it from there.
Amazing. I fully agree. Let's also shift gears and talk about content. Okay. Before you joined the Think Natalia Tribe, when you look at the content that you created before that, and when you look at your content right now, do you see a difference? And if so, what is the difference if you could describe it? Because I see one. Nevertheless, I want to hear your perspective first.
Again, from a technical perspective, I think, you know, understanding what works well on LinkedIn. So how to structure your post, how to use hashtags, how to kind of use an opening statement, you know, how to use the content in an optimal laid out fashion. So those things I really, really learned from you. I think images, using, you know, what kind of things capture more of people's attention, you know, that is, that was big for me. What else? Is there anything, is that what you're referring to? Or did you have anything else that you kind of noticed?
I personally noticed that your posts before we started working sometimes felt a little bit too sciencey or too complex. And I have the feeling that you learned to break down complex topics to cut them into digestible starters or main courses or desserts, and that you write even a little bit more as you speak right now. Plus, on top of that, I have the feeling that you sprinkle a little bit of personal anecdotes more often than before.
Yeah,
did I observe that correctly?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. The kind of work that I do is like, it can be very quite sciencey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's also what I really love about, the work that I do, that it has like a scientific element and an academic kind of portion or part. And so the people that I follow and, what I listen to and read is a high level. And, I think I had the tendency to kind of think like, everybody knows this stuff. So,
yeah.
So, whenever I write something, it's like, yeah, people know that. And I think what you also made me realize is that that's not necessarily true for a lot of people. It's important to break it down and actually, sort of you give small little nuggets so that it's easier to understand and comprehend. So you're right. I think I have been consciously or subconsciously doing more of that. Yeah. And that's probably been really, really helpful. Yeah.
Wonderful. Did you gain any kind of benefits from our tribe, from getting to know new people? Are there any business partnerships or friendships that came out of it? Is there anything else that helped you on that journey worth mentioning? Because I know so many individuals who say, group coaching, that's not for me. Groups suck. I've been once in a group coaching and da. And then I always say, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you had a negative experience. And I used to have my perspective when it comes to group coaching as well. And I allowed myself to have a more beautiful experience. So if there are any benefits or if there's anything that you really appreciated, I would be super interested in hearing that as well.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit like the person you described, right? Like, one-on-one works well for me. In a group, maybe not so much. But again, I decided to take the plunge, and it was actually really awesome. And I'm talking not only from the fact that it's a really awesome community of people who are all on this mission to, do well in this world and to spread their, the work that they do. But also because, we're supporting each other in terms of our posts and that kind of stuff. And then the group calls per se, were super insightful, because not only was it an opportunity to get my own questions answered and, talk about the things that I was struggling with or being challenged by, but by just listening in on what everybody else had to share and what everybody else was doing, it was like, a whole different level of like gaining insights and information. So it was actually one of the best parts of the program, if you ask me.
Wow, I love to hear that. That's incredible. Because I remember that it wasn't only you, it was also a handful of other individuals who had a block around reaching out to other individuals. And I was challenging the three of you in a setting of, okay, one of you starts, I want to see a result. You post it into our closed Facebook group once you get the first person on the phone or Zoom or Teams without being salesy. And then the next of you, it's your turn. And then it's your turn. So I was super happy that there were other individuals as well, because as you said, there's so much that we can learn from each other, and knowing that you're not alone with this. You know it from a rational perspective because we are mature human beings. But when it comes from an emotional corner, I think sometimes we tap into the inner little child, or some people might call it victim or whatever, who say, no, nobody has this. Nobody feels that. I'm on my own. So this is why I love the tribe, because people who went through this also share the emotions that they went through, and they encourage, and they root for you, and they share what works for them. And they said, okay, I tried this. No, I don't like it. But then I tried this and try this. And yeah, so happy that this had a positive impact on your lead generation process and your perspective on the whole system of inviting new people to work with you, because your work is so important. And I think more people need to understand it. And in order, to do that, we are allowed to talk about what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yep.
Nice. Okay. What else? We talked about lead generation and sales. Done. We talked about content. Done. What about your network? Did that grow a little bit also?
Yeah, it's still tiny, but mighty, I like to think, because I started so small. But I mean, like I've seen a huge boost, and it's really consistent, right? It's consistently, I think it's also to do with the fact that I'm consistent with my posting and consistent with my reaching out. But like I'm very happy with the results that I've seen in terms of my followers and my network. Yeah, I think I started with 150 people.
It was cute.
Yeah, and I'm getting more than 500 followers now, and I've got a larger network. So yeah, it's
incredible. Yay! So keep that one up. Podcast. Was there maybe one podcast interview or any invites that came in?
No, I'm working on doing a podcast with someone. I haven't done it yet, but yeah, it's hopefully getting there.
Good, awesome. So that's also on some of the next steps. Okay, is there anything else that is close to your heart that is worth mentioning? If not, then I want to know how people can find you best, or how they can reach out to you.
Okay, all right. So yeah, let me share that. So there's a couple of ways. There's LinkedIn, of course. So please, reach out if you want to connect, or follow me to stay in touch with the content. And basically, I want to say that I am nowhere near being done. I'm actually really, hoping to be releasing more and more helpful and supportive information and things that can, help upgrade people's health and lives and things like that. So if you want to kind of stay connected with that, and if you want to continue to stay inspired and, get the information and things like that, just please, sort of connect on LinkedIn. The other way to do it is to go to my website. I have a website, which is www.moniquejhingon.com. So that's where you can find more information on, what I do, how I do it, how to work with me. And what else? Is there another way? Reach out. If you like, you can send a message on LinkedIn. You can go to my website again to connect. But if you really are interested to learning more, if you really are interested to having a one-on-one conversation to see how we can work together, then by all means, I offer a free consultation just to sort of explore that possibility. So let me know if you're interested in that.
Fantastic. And I will link to everything in the comments when we publish this video all over our social media channels. And once again, I am super happy. I'm grateful that you allowed us to guide you a tiny little bit on your journey of marketing yourself. A lot. Okay, fair enough. And I'm really impressed by how far you have grown, and by the challenges that you overcame, and by the things that you've tried, and by the goals that you've set for yourself. So when I look at where you started and where you are right now, for me, this is a tremendous transformation. It's huge. And I know that this is like with almost every transformation, we're still scratching at most probably 20% of our potential, because you and I were like-minded. We believe in the ultimate potential and self-actualization. So I'm incredibly excited to see how you're going to evolve, how your journey is going to shift, how your content is going to change, what kind of people you're going to help. And would love to catch up also in person, because we both live in Dubai. We never did that. We should definitely catch up for a tea. We
definitely should. Yeah, the same thing.
Right? Yeah. Right? Would love that. Okay, so once again, a huge thank you, and we keep in touch.
Likewise, Natalia, thank you so much as well. Really, really, it was an amazing, super journey, and I can't recommend it more to anybody who's interested in doing this and doing it seriously. Yeah.
Thank you. So I'll take that as a closing word for everybody who watched this today and enjoyed it. Share it with a friend, forward it to somebody, or go to coachingwithnatalia.com and read more about our work. So thanks for today, and talk very soon.